Thank you to all the members for supporting my channel. Hello there. Genshin Impact has a lot of in-game modes, and by a lot, I mean a grand total of 2. And in a more recent video, I talked about the Spiral Abyss and its ever-increasing artificial difficulty with a number of mechanics that I don't really appreciate as a player. I had planned to make this video a video talking about how you can fix that, and don't worry, I still plan on making a actual how to save Spiral Abyss in the future, but for now, I want to talk about something completely different. The other in-game mode. That game mode being the Imaginarium Theater, aka Genshin's second new in-game mode. This game mode is new, so I'll forgive any of you who don't know what it is. The Imaginarium Theater is a new permanent domain-style combat gameplay that steals a lot of assets from roguelike mechanics. As of now, it has 4 major difficulties: easy, normal, hard, and visionary, each one requiring a minimum amount of characters in order to start the event to begin with. Easy mode has 3 chambers and requires 8 characters, normal mode has 6 chambers and requires 12, hard mode has 8 and requires 16, and visionary has 10 and requires 22. Max that you can add at full stacks is 10, 14, 20, and 22, and for every character you add to the roster over the bare minimum, you will receive bonuses to your damage, HP, and other scaling stats like elemental mastery and attack percent. Each major update of the Imaginarium Theater picks 3 of the elements that are currently available in the game and restricts access to the game mode to only those 3 elements. There are a couple of exceptions to this rule. For example, characters who are currently running on banner or who are relevant in the current story patch are usually allowed to be brought into the theater, regardless of the elemental restrictions, and your friends are allowed to pin up their own support characters. Regardless of their element, they can be brought in the lower difficulties, but not on Visionary. The final restriction is in order to bring in a character at all, they need to be at least level 60 for easy and normal mode, or at least level 7 for hard and visionary difficulty. The reward for full clearing all of this content is, of course, 800 gems, 5 whole summons. Once you've selected your team and you enter the game mode, you will be allowed to bring in a set number of characters that is completely random. In order to get more characters from the pool of characters you selected at the beginning, you must either recruit them or pick one after you clear every stage. This means that you will not be able to fully adjust your team comp freely unless they are currently available in the pool of characters you received. Once you have recruited every character, or before if you prefer, you can use any additional currency you gain from grinding this game mode to instead buy buffs for your characters, and that is the general rule of thumb. The main end goal of this mode is to get to the end and defeat the final boss. So that's about it. Pretty simple, even though I yapped for 3 minutes on what it's about. Now I am sure some of you who haven't even played the Imaginarium Theater are probably sitting here and thinking to themselves, I can see a few problems with this difficulty. And yeah, there's a lot of issues with the theater in general, which is why I want to make it very clear that, as always, if you can fully clear this easily with your eyes closed like I can, this video is not made for you. This video is made for everybody else, okay? You need to remember that everybody starts somewhere. With that all being said, this game mode is dog ass. It is awful. Pretty much everybody who has played it can unanimously agree that this is not good. Here's the thing. Spiral Abyss is frustrating because you need to build 2 teams and then you have to go fight HP sponges that have mechanics that are completely annoying, like I described in my last video. Imaginarium Theater takes that problem, multiplies it, and then gives you even more restrictions to deal with. Here's the first major one that I always like to point out. It is completely unrealistic to expect players that play Genshin, to expect any player at all, to have 22 characters at level 70 to consolidate enough points to even enter the Imaginarium Theater to begin with. Because remember, you don't need 22 characters at level 70 in order to play. You need 22 characters of whatever 3 elements are currently on the roster to participate. If you do not meet that minimum requirement, you straight up cannot play the game mode. It will not let you start it at all. This is not good for anybody. If you're an early game player who hasn't yet invested into enough teams to even participate, oh well, sucks to suck, you can't play at all, so why don't you go grind your account? Mid-game players who have already already grinded their account a little bit still can't participate, because fuck you buddy, that's why. Players who have played all the way up until the end game and have played for half of a year, realistically, are not even going to have 22 characters a high enough level. Hell, I'll take it a step further. On average, you will not have enough characters to participate in Visionary difficulty for 2 years. Because you need to remember, you don't need 22 characters of any level in order to join. You need 22 of the 3 elements that are currently on rotation to join, which is especially fucked if you haven't played in the past year and a half, because what if the rotation is one of the elements as cryo? Well, the cryo 5 stars haven't run in a very long time. This is your reminder that last time Shenhe ran, Honkai Star Rail wasn't even out yet. Not only that, a lot of cryo characters are just unreliable to get in general, like characters like Charlotte, who haven't been on a banner since Farina's original run. In order to get Chi-Chi, you need to lose a 50-50 on a 5-star banner. So if you get unlucky and one of the rotations, cryo, is one of the 3 elements, then it's highly likely that you just straight up won't even have enough characters to start that rotation, despite being able to do every other rotation that doesn't have cryo. And this isn't even just a problem for random players and casuals and stuff like that, because even whales are negatively affected like this. If you are a whale, you don't need to fully invest in 2 full teams to clear Spiral Abyss. You can easily go in with a C6 Nuvolette and a C6 Kanich and just steamroll the Abyss without a full team. That is not an option in this game mode. Even if the 22 character requirement was completely stripped away, you cannot start any version of difficulty unless you have 1 full team. You need at least 4 characters to start, and with each character only being allowed to use 2 times, it leads to a lot of points where you are just straight up throwing in characters that you otherwise would want to save points on, because there's just nothing else you can do. You have to bring in a full team, and now you're losing that point on other things. Which means whales can't hyper-invest in just a few characters and carry their way through the whole thing. They have to follow the rules either. Which means I have to ask the question, who the hell was this game mode made for? It seems to be only made for the people that have played the game for a god-awful amount of time, which in and of itself, I wouldn't have that big of a problem with. I wouldn't be upset about this new in-game mode. But here's the thing, the Spiral Abyss before would reset once every 2 weeks, which means on average we were getting around 1.28k Primo Gems per rotation, because you gotta remember this was before they buffed it to 800 a patch. Now the Spiral Abyss has been buffed to 800, meaning we're supposed to get 1.6k from Spiral Abyss every month, right? No, because what they did instead was they made Spiral Abyss reset once every 4 weeks, and then on the second week Imaginarium Theater resets, which means now, if you are an old player, you are getting the same amount of rewards you would have gotten before for double the work. Now you don't just have to build 2 teams, you have to build 5 teams, and then maybe build 6.5 teams in order to get the extra bonuses from this new game mode. Raising the bar is fine if you would give us more rewards to make it worth the effort, which you don't. You get the exact same amount of pulls you did before, except now you have to do significantly more work. And for what? The game mode is not hard. I shit on Spiral Abyss all the time for having artificial difficulty. You know, increasing the HP scaling of your characters and making this new game mode a nightmare to play for anybody who hasn't invested heavily in 2 teams in and of itself is frustrating, but I can get behind it because at least it shows me how far I've grown to a certain extent. My rotations get better, my skills get better, my artifacts get better, my talents are stronger, my characters are stronger. I can watch the progression of power creep because now Diluc and Noelle, 2 of my favorite characters when the game first came out, feel significantly weaker than characters like Nuvolette and Kanich. But Imaginarium Theater doesn't even give me that. It doesn't even give me the artificial difficulty, because the fact of the matter is, if you have enough characters that are built to enter the Imaginarium Theater, you are going to shit stomp it. It is a very, very easy mode. It's easy without the bonuses. And now, ever since we got the bonuses in the last patch of the Imaginarium Theater, it is even easier because you get, like I said in the beginning, Elemental Mastery, attack percent, HP, and other damage inflating values just for bringing in more than 22 characters in the final mode. On top of that, the currency that you get from playing in the Imaginum Theater allows you to buy bonuses which make the elements that are currently in rotation a little bit stronger by giving them additional effects, like extra defense shred, shockwaves, true damage blasts, etc, etc. So what MiHoYo has essentially created is a way to do 2 things. 1, they are blocking out a significant portion of the community from being able to even participate to receive some of the gems allotted from clearing the Imaginarium Imaginarium Theater by overinflating how difficult it is, and 2, you're making it so that a lot of people that play the game are punished for building the characters they want to build. Nobody asked for this game mode. I am sure there are some people out there that like it, but the fact of the matter is this is a disgusting attempt at limiting the rewards that a lot of players can get while artificially making it so that it looks like this major step of prestige, but at the end of the day, much like the Spiral Abyss, but to an even worse degree, I would argue, the Imaginarium Theater requires no skill, no effort. All it requires is time, and a significant amount of time. And on top of that, you could still invest a significant amount of time, but if you don't pull the characters that the game wants you to, you still can't play. Which leads me into my final point. You should just ignore this as a whole. It only makes your experience in the game worse. A lot of people say Spiral Abyss is a fool's errand, and that if you are playing for meta content, then, you can't have fun. And I have a whole video planned for that, because I feel like these people don't realize that playing meta is fun. You can have fun playing meta. That being said, I, the meta player, am telling you to completely ignore Imaginarium Theater if you are new. If you are not able to participate, don't beat yourself up about it, because here's the thing. The rewards you get from it are not worth it. The building your characters to participate in it means nothing, because those characters aren't that strong. You only need them to fill in dead slots on the team. In order to participate to begin with, you would need to go out of your way to pull characters with elements and titles that you do not want, you do not like, just so that you meet the bare minimum requirement number to even participate. Just don't do that. Pull the characters you want, use the meta to make them as strong as possible, and I guarantee you they will be able to clear Spiral Abyss. Ignore the Imaginarium Theater. Play to the highest difficulty that you currently have unlocked with the characters that you pulled because you enjoy them, and let that be that. There will be no video talking about how to fix Imaginarium Theater, because in my opinion, it's unfixable. It needs to be reworked, it needs to be changed, or they need to put Spiral Abyss back on a 2-week cycle and make this its own game mode that resets once a month, because right now, this game mode is awful, and it serves no purpose other than to lessen the experience of the people that play Genshin. Like, comment, subscribe. See ya.